What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Average Bob, and in today's video, this is going to be one I'm probably going to catch some flack for, but I want to be honest with you guys and transparent about my feelings here. So, the most recent news and update about Odell Beckham Jr. coming back to the Giants, per Adam Schefter, his tweet about an hour ago said Odell Beckham Jr. came to the Arizona Biltmore during the NFL's annual meetings and met with the Giants head coach John Harbaugh on Monday about potentially joining the team. Sources told Jordan and Raanan. And some quotes that I want to pull from this because this has been something that really happens. We see every single offseason, guys. There's Odell says he wants to come back and finish where he started. Giants fans get super nostalgic and say, yeah, why wouldn't we want to see that? We don't have any really good wide receivers except Neighbors, who's coming back off an ACL surgery. So let's just dive into some of the quotes from the article on ESPN and talk about each of them individually. The first one talking about general manager Joe Shane's talking about needing proof first of seeing what Odell can do. And a couple weeks ago, there was this random flag football game that I guess it's like the Team US Olympic team played. I don't even know. Tom Brady and like Joe Burrow threw an interception to Logan Paul. I can't follow that stuff, guys. So I don't know what it was really for or what happened. I just knew like people were really pissed off about if you were a Bengals fan and Joe Burrow tore his ACL in this game, wouldn't you be pissed off? Like, whatever. Anyway, so let's talk about from that. Odell was doing the one-handed catches. There was a lot of content around it, and people were, I didn't talk about it at all. I haven't talked about Odell really once this offseason, besides just tweeting earlier about a video that I posted about like 3 years ago when I first started my channel. But here, getting to the quote from Joe Shane is that Odell hasn't played in a year. You'd certainly want to see him work out first. So that means that they would bring him in to do a workout in New Jersey and see what he has left in the tank after, really not playing for quite some time at this point. Didn't play last season. I know he had like some sort of performance enhancing drug thing that he was popped for, so he had to sit out for a little bit. And then Odell Beckham on returning to New York, if that opportunity presents itself, I would love to do it. I would be excited about it. And this is something he's been doing, kind of planting seeds for this over the years, where he had a picture with his son in the MetLife Stadium parking lot talking about like, oh, this is where I used to do it and all this stuff. And then John Harbaugh obviously coached him for the Ravens for, I think, the one season he was there. And he said that John Harbaugh was quoted as saying, we've maintained a really good relationship. He's one of my favorite people in the world. And here's one thing that a lot of people that are Odell haters get wrong. And I'm not an Odell hater. I love Odell Beckham. But at the end, I'll talk about some of my feelings towards this potentially coming back. And everyone who's coached Odell Beckham seems to have loved him. All of his teammates seem to love him. Probably Eli didn't like him that much towards the end when he did the Lil Wayne interview, but whatever. We could talk about, a young person making mistakes later on. And then it seems like, Joe Shane also wants to keep the door open. They'll never not pursue someone that can help. I don't know, take that with a grain of salt coming from Joe Shane. And then the last quote here was Malik Neighbors, just quoting, who is also an LSU wide receiver, saying, let's play together, commented on an Instagram post for Odell Beckham Jr. And Jackson Dart has also endorsed it as well. So, guys, here, where there's smoke, there is fire. You have the Adam Schefter report. This is as real as it could be. And I just don't know what Odell has left in the tank at this point. And let me make an analogy, right? And because I feel like a lot of my audience, if you're new on TikTok, you're probably younger. And when you were growing up and Odell Beckham was, the absolute, like, it was the best part of your Giants fandom for a number of years, right? Like, he played at such an exciting level that really Saquon got to a little bit, but Saquon wasn't as exciting as Odell was and transformative from a cultural standpoint of the league and his position and what he was able to do. And people have that like ingrained in them, like Odell is greatness, right? The teams weren't that great that he played on when he was here, but he was a special bright light. And I think he's one of the best players that I've seen in person play across any sport, like live. So there is that nostalgia factor. And one random comparison, I was just thinking about when I wanted to do this video, how I could compare it, because we all yearn for nostalgia. Nostalgia is a massive market right now. They're selling things from the 80s, the 90s. My whole feed is about how great the 90s was, even though I lived in it and there were a lot of good things, right? Pre-technology days. But One thing that came up recently, a couple years ago, was my group chat was really excited for Modern Warfare 2 remaster to Call of Duty, right? And this was a game that was in my formative years towards the end of high school and in college, and you would spend all your time playing this game, weekends, with a lot of friends, and it was one of the best video games of all time. And when this game was getting re-released, I didn't play it. And I'm a huge gamer, and a lot of my friends did. And it didn't bring back that wave of the good feeling that you had originally when you enjoyed it. And I think it kind of might apply to this scenario with Odell Beckham Jr. because we all loved it so much when it happened, and that everyone was devastated. I remember where I was when I got the text. I was at a work dinner in Hoboken, and I literally thought either someone died or there was a terrorist attack because I had 150 text messages, and I was like, excuse me, I have to go to this bathroom and see what I have to go to the bathroom and see what happened. I'm like, no. Everyone's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, the Giants just traded Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns. um, but all joking aside, I think there's so much nostalgia that comes with speaking about Odell that everyone really likes him. You really like him or you don't like him, and I've always loved the guy, but I just think sometimes the best things for your love of someone is to leave it in the past. This comes up all the time with the New York Rangers and Mark Messier. Rangers fans have such a nostalgia for Mark Messier. Obviously, they should because he brought them their first Stanley Cup in 54 years, and this is the only one they've won since 1994. But every single coaching cycle, Mark Messier's name's thrown out there. The same thing happened a couple of years ago with St. John's basketball. Chris Mullins, St. John legend at St. John's, bring him in to be the coach. And it sucked and fell apart. The same thing I believe would happen with Mark Messier. And then I guess it's different comparing coaching, but to compare a player at this point, 33 years old, who's a wide receiver with knee injuries, who has just as many drops as Darius Slayton had, Darius Slayton had way less targets. I just don't see it being the right time for this reunion. And although the nostalgia is great and everyone would love to see 13 running around MetLife Stadium one last time, but I just don't think it should be at the cost of this team moving forward with a new culture, with a new quarterback, with a new coach, and all this young talent. I mean, obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. would be a very powerful locker room presence at this point. And he will be if he joins this team. And you're going to see him all the time. You're going to see the one-handed catches again, which we all will love. But I just think sometimes it's best to leave the past in the past. And I don't want to see him come out and either get hurt or drop some passes and not look the same. And then you're like, that's your last image of Odell Beckham as a Giant in like a season that might, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here and thinking, I know I'm going to get killed for this because all of you guys really want this. But I just want to be honest with you about, to a degree I do, but I think the risk of seeing him kind of sully his identity for nostalgia bait and not being able to back it up with his play at this point at being 33 years old, having the knee injuries, missing all last season, I don't know if it's worth it. So that's my whole rant about Odell. Hope you drop a comment if you guys think I'm, went too far stretching with my nostalgia reaches there, but that's just what I think. And then now you're getting all the other guys coming out of the woodwork. Jason Pierre-Paul had tweeted earlier about at the New York Giants, I'm still available, ready to take on some OTs and dominate in a run stop football the Giants way. Let's make it happen. Giants fan, Giants Station. Let's go. I know. Is his tweet that he sent earlier today on the 31st of March. And, everyone's going to be coming out of the woodwork now. And I don't really want to see Jason Pierre-Paul at this point. And honestly, what kind of factor would he be? Because we still have Kayvon Thibodeau, we have Brian Burns, we have Bill Carter. I'm not sure what kind of role he would have, but I think that's probably the only part of what makes the Odell potential something that people would be interested in, because there aren't any good wide receivers besides Malik Neighbors, who's coming off the terrible knee injury. So who knows how he's going to look, right? But maybe if there's someone to learn from about bouncing back from injury, it could be Odell Beckham, or I'm sure that line of communication will be open anyway. So, and then, we got, Mooney and Calvin Austin and Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt. But that's all I got for today, you guys. Wanted to do this. I don't even think I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to post it totally raw or just remove the bits and where I didn't talk for a while. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't even think I could post this on a short form because I think people will just, the comment section will just get too crazy. And that's it. So thank you.